Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav for today's session of JForex Indicators Explained. We will be looking into the uses, the properties, the concept of the indicator named average true range. This is the indicator which is used to measure the volatility in the instrument of our choice. We try to gauge the volatility so that we can define the range and accordingly place our trades to make sure that we have higher chances of making money than losing money. Ultimately, it's all about making money. So that's what it is all about. So we try to see when the conditions are optimum enough, and using those conditions, then we can go for the trades. So let us now head to the JForex for the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is a chart for the hourly time frame of Euro USD. And here you can find this indicator average true range simply by doing a quick search, or if you want to know where this indicator is listed, you can go to the add indicator option, and there you will find it listed amongst the volatility indicators. Here it is, just below the average daily range. In last session, I explained to you the concept, the uses of average daily range. Now, average true range is a little bit different. It simply measures the difference between the high and the low for the current candle period, and whatever is the absolute value of that is considered. Then it is compared to the absolute value of current day's high minus the prior closing value, and we also take the difference between current day's low and the prior closing value. So current candle period is low and the prior closing value is also taken, and all these absolute values are taken into account, and whichever is the highest value is then utilized to be considered in average of the calculation period. So if you are utilizing the data for figuring out the average true range of last 5 days, then you take the highest value of these three values for last five candle periods and then average it out. So it is simple to calculate, and also quite useful. So if we plot it here, ATR. This is going to vary depending on the volatility. So whenever the volatility is high, we will have this ATR value jumping up, and as the price starts to stagnate, as the range narrows, we will have this consolidation and then lowering of the range. So it gives you an idea when the momentum is there and when the momentum is not there. So it is always a better idea to trade when there is a strong momentum in the underlying instrument, and if there is lack of momentum, even if you trade many a times, not much money is likely to be made. So it is essential requirement. So this indicator gives you a good idea of optimizing your trading schedule. Whenever there is a high volatility, you can go for trades, and this indicator will help you figure out those kind of opportunities. Now its use is simple. You simply compare it over the calculation period, and you have to figure out what is the normal range for the instrument. So that has to be done simply by doing some observations. So suppose if we are looking at the hourly ATR, and here currently the hourly ATR is 30, but to get an idea if this current hourly ATR is high, low, or just the average, we will have to go back in time for a couple of days and then figure out what is the usual average true range ATR for the hourly time frame, hourly candle period for the Euro USD in general. So if we see that it tends to be in the range of 15 to 25, and now if it is on the higher side at 30, then we can say that the current ATR is higher, and these are the volatile times, and as a result of that, we will have higher chances of getting big moves. So whenever the volatility is much higher than normal prices, normal value, you will have better chances of getting big trades. So that is one way to utilize this. This indicator is not really going to give you any idea of the direction of the momentum. It is direction neutral, whether it is bullish or bearish, the underlying instrument. It doesn't really matter. It simply measures the range. Its range is taken into consideration. So you will have to take the help of other directional indicators if you want to figure out the direction and then map it with volatility to see if you have optimum entry and exit points using these increased volatility, and if there is a higher probability, higher chance of making a profit using a big move. So you have these indicator to help you out figure out such kind of opportunities. And now let us see the customization options available to us on the platform. We can vary its calculation period. The default setup is 14, but if you want to vary this calculation period, you can lower it or you can increase this calculation period. So all you have to do is go for the appropriate average true range, whichever is the appropriate range you feel or appropriate calculation period that can be taken as the input, and for that calculation period we will have the ATR. Now that I have used 24 as the calculation period, that simply means whole day's price data is being considered to figure out this average volatility over the last 24 hours. So we get this idea of the hourly true range for the Euro USD using last 24 hours worth of data. So here there was increased volatility in last session yesterday by the end of US trading session, and since then the volatility is declining. We have seen from the top made at around 34 pips. Now the volatility, the ATR is down below 30 pips. So this is the range which gives you the idea of the momentum and how likely this momentum is likely to sustain. So classical interpretation of this indicator is whenever the ATR is on the rise, that is signifying the increasing volatility, and it can be the signal of rising momentum as well. So if you use a directional indicator and pair it with the ATR, if the ATR is also on the rise, and if suppose for example the directional indicator is giving you a bullish indication, then in that kind of scenario you can go for the trade, and as and when the momentum starts to wane, we will have the ATR value declining again. So both these factors can be utilized to figure out the opportunities. Now let us edit it further. Suppose if you want to use it on the lower calculation period, you can do that as well. So whatever is your idea of a profitable system, you can try it out. You can give it a try, experiment it, and see if it works out or not. And if it works out, well and good. Or else you can always change these input parameter to arrive at more optimum setup. Now I will restore it back to 14. The output, coming to the color combination of this output line, you can vary these output lines color as per your aesthetics. We have these custom color combinations as well. So let us try out a new color combination for today's ATR output. Okay, so this is looking a lot brighter. Width can be increased or decreased. Transparency can also be varied. Shift value. All right. Levels, you can add the levels. So for that, you have to figure out what kind of ATR value is generally seen for the given candle period or whichever the candle period you are using. So you have to first determine that level, and only after that you can add it to make sense of the current ATR output value. But then if you change the chart to other candle period, that prior level won't be of much help. So you have to take that also in mind while defining these levels. Suppose if you want to add it, all you have to do is get this additional line in place, and you can define the level. So there is not much of an there is this easier option. Now coming to the advanced editing options, if you want the output value to remain constant throughout the current candle period, then you have to opt in for these options. Else, whatever is the applied price for the current candle period, depending on that, the output of the ATR will also keep varying. So to keep this constant, you have to go for the recalculate on new candle only. Highlight the time period zone if you want this time period zone to be highlighted, which is being used for calculation. You have to go for this. The calculation can be customized further. You can go for the instrument which can be utilized from the chart. You can go for any instrument from the chart, Euro USD or any instrument, whatever is the instrument on the chart. For that instrument, we will have this ATR calculated. So it is pretty simple. Okay. Calculation can be customized for candle period as well. Even though the chart's candle period is hourly, if you want to keep the calculation period or the candle period for the any instrument of your choice constant, you can do that as well. So regardless of what's the chart's candle period, this calculation of the ATR will be done as per this predefined value only. So here the ATR output is going to be calculated using 15-minute candle. Each candle will be defined for 15 minutes, even though the chart is of hourly or even for that matter 4 hourly. It is not going to be a factor now. This calculation is simply dependent on each candle being of 15 minutes. Spread can be ask or bid. There will be slight difference, but not much of a difference. Show indicator on all the candle periods. So whatever is the candle period of the chart, we will have this indicator available on that. But if you uncheck it, then you have to specify on which candle period these indicators should be available, and only on those candle periods this indicator will be available. Now that we have opted for 15 minutes and 4 hourly, only on those time frames this plotting for the ATR will be there. Else for other candle periods we won't be seeing ATR on the chart. So when you are using multiple indicators with different candle periods, you can go for this kind of setting. You can add different kinds of indicator on different candle period to make sense of the developments, price dynamics for the instrument of your choice. That's how this system works out. All right, the base period is a day here, but for this indicator, the base period is not really going to matter. You can vary it and it won't be making much of an impact on the calculation. So guys, that's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write back to me in the feedback section and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. For further coverage of the market developments, do check out the Dukascopy Analytics page. We are also available on the Facebook. You can reach out to us there too. For trying out this newly released trading platform, check out the link which has been included in the bio. So give it a try and let me know how it works out for you. That's all from my side. I'll be back tomorrow with a new indicator, new formation, new setups. Do come back. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.